Hey, it's Kristen and Bethany here with Girl Defined Ministries, and in today's vlog, we're going to be answering your questions about beauty, romance, and the Christian life.
So we literally get dozens of questions every day from you asking us questions about beauty, romance, guys, relationships, and Christian life, and unfortunately, we don't always have the time to answer them as quickly as we would like. So we thought today, let's get through as many questions as possible, because a lot of you submit really similar questions, so we're going to try to answer as many as possible. We talk a lot, so we're going to try to get through them as quickly as we can.
So first question, one of you sent in and asked us, should we as young women change our appearances and character for a guy? So that's kind of a hard question because we're not exactly sure what you mean, but it could go either way. So for example, a while back before I was married, I was in a relationship with a guy. It ended up ending because it wasn't a good relationship, but he was pressuring me to change my character and my appearances in ways that weren't necessarily honoring to the Lord. Like, for example, my clothing, he would kind of encourage me to dress in ways that were more edgy and not really as modest. And so that wasn't a good thing. In that case, I shouldn't have changed my appearance for that guy.
Totally.
But roll a little bit forward, and I'm in my relationship with Zach before we got married, and Zach wanted to honor the Lord. He had a heart of purity, and he would actually encourage me in my character to honor the Lord in the way I dressed. He would encourage me to dress modestly so that I could honor the Lord with my clothing and honor him. And so it depends on the guy. Is he pushing you towards purity? Is he pushing you towards holiness in your character? Or is he doing the opposite? So that's what you need to take into consideration.
Next question. How can you tell if a guy who is a man of few words likes you? Well, if a guy really genuinely likes you and he wants to speak up, like he has a reason to, like he's ready to make a move, he's ready to pursue you in a way that's maybe towards a purposeful relationship, he will actually make a move. So if you're standing over there and you're like, oh, I really like this guy, I wonder if he likes me. Well, wait, make yourself available and allow him, give him space to make a move. And if he doesn't make a move, if he never speaks up, that's probably a sign that either now is not the right time or he's not the one for you. So be patient. Don't aggressively chase him down and go after him. Wait for him to initiate. Wait for him to pursue. And if he doesn't, just take that as a sign that it's not the right time.
Next question that one of you asked was, how do you stay focused on God when you feel like he's turned his back on you?
That's hard.
And that can be a really hard feeling, because when we go through really hard times, sometimes we start to question, like, is God there? Does he hear my prayers? Does he care about me? Because I'm really suffering. And if you open up the Psalms, you'll actually see similar feelings coming from David, who wrote a lot of Psalms like, God, where are you in my suffering? Where are you? I can't find you. But then he always ends by remembering God's truth. And so here's just an encouragement, actually from the book of Lamentations in chapter 3. This reminds us of God's truth, because we can't go based on our feelings. Even if we feel like God is not there, even if we feel like he's abandoned us, he hasn't, because his word tells us that he is steadfast. He does not abandon us. This verse in Lamentations 3:22 says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him. And then just another quick word of truth that we have to tell ourselves is in Psalm 119, 68, it says, you are good and you do good. And that's speaking about God. He is good and he does good. So when we're feeling like God has abandoned us, we need to remember God's truth and get back to our word and tell ourselves his truth.
All right, so next question. So my boyfriend and I have been together for over 5 years, since I was 16, so we're still young. And I really want him to propose soon, but he feels financially he should wait until after college to even propose. What advice do you have for him and for me to be patient? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a long time to be together. And honestly, the number one thing that I think both of us would recommend is to seek some outside wisdom and counsel, because being together in a relationship for over 5 years and continuing to plan on being in one for even longer without marriage in sight right now would be really hard, and the temptations or the struggles that could come along with that could be quite abundant. So we really encourage you to find someone in your church, your pastor or an older, wiser man or woman, maybe even an older godly couple that you could sit down with, share your story with, and ask them, say, hey, here's the situation, here's the plan. Is there a way we can make this work? You know, what should we do? Seeking outside wisdom and counsel right now would be the wisest thing to do.
One of you wrote in and asked us, what is the danger of fantasizing? And that's a really good question. And the fact that you're already asking what is the danger means that you already have some concerns. You're thinking, I wonder if this is a problem. We as girls do tend to fantasize a lot, but what we have to ask ourselves first is what am I fantasizing about? What am I thinking about? Is it pure and holy? Is it something that is unrighteous, a lustful thought? Or is it something that's good, but God just hasn't chosen to fulfill that in my life right now? So whatever it is that you're fantasizing, we encourage you, as well as ourselves, is to take it to Philippians 4:8 and use this as a grid. Take your thoughts, take your fantasies through this grid and see if they line up with God's word. So Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. So we encourage you to take your fantasies, take your thoughts, put them through Philippians 4:8 and 9 and ask yourself, do these thoughts line up with God's word? Are they pure? Are they true? Are they lovely? Are they commendable? Or are they dishonoring to God? Or are they creating a heart of discontentment because it's like marriage or something good that God just hasn't chosen to fulfill in my life? So we encourage you, take your thoughts to Philippians 4:8.
And the last question for today, what are some ideas to pursue ministry as a single? Great question. I like this one because I'm single. So I get to take all the single questions. Well, I have a number one recommendation for you. This is something that I have personally been doing for the last several years, and it's been an awesome experience to do. And this is one-on-one discipleship or one-on-one mentorship. Basically finding another girl, a younger girl who you can basically link arms with and say, hey, let's walk the Christian life together. Let's study God's word. Let's read a book together and let's talk about it. And honestly, there is nothing quite like getting to do the Christian life and pour back into someone younger than you or someone just a little bit further behind spiritually. So that's honestly, if you're going to do anything as a single is with ministry, that's one of my biggest recommendations. And of course, we have Girl Defined, our book, Girl Defined, God's radical design for beauty, femininity, and identity, which we wrote in a way that could work exactly for what I'm describing. So basically, you can go chapter by chapter, and at the end of each chapter, there's a study guide with questions, little fun quizzes, things for you to talk about. So it's not even that intimidating. You can grab a girlfriend and say, hey, let's go through Girl Defined together and dig deeper into what it means to be a Christian woman. Answer the questions at the end, and this would be a great way to get started. So that would be my number one recommendation for single girls to get involved in ministry.
So that wraps up this Q&A vlog. We wish we could spend like the next hour answering all of your questions, but we hope that this has been helpful. We also want to encourage you to go to girldefined.com/blog because on there in our archives, every question that you've sent us, we have written a blog answering it. I'm not joking. Go to the archives, do a search, read those blogs on there. That will be so helpful in answering some of the questions that we couldn't get to today.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from us, we post new videos every Wednesday, so you can subscribe to our channel below. Not girls just like you, from you?
Yeah, from you.
Okay, so question number one.
Okay. No, it's no problem. Just keep it short. I saw your eyes like,
speed it up question.
Whoa, sorry, you were so loud. That would be an obvious change in volume. I loved it. You were using like fancy words. Like
in confidence in these.
Philippians 4:8.
That was good. You could have done it
hours later.